Hi, creative people. Good evening. I hope you all are good. Well, I'm here with another video. On today's video, I'm going to talk about how to be a creative in design. Okay. So on today's video, I'm not going to talk about the Illustrator or any other design tools. Okay. Simply on today's video, let's say how to find a creative idea to design something. Okay, so it's like important to get the ideas before starting something. But let's categorize something in a two different ways. First, there is a one design that is useful for, let's say, social media post or any organization, let's say company portfolio or any other digital design. It's just a simple graphic design. Okay, this is one part. Okay, it can be maybe a digital or print, but simple, like as a categorically, like I can say as a simple graphical element design or graphical things design that comes maybe brochure, flyer, graphic, a business card, company profile, and hoarding board or any other things. Okay, brand guideline or simply as all other. And let's categorize in a different way, that is artist. Okay, or illustrator or illustration. So in artistic view or as an illustrator, so there might be a different creative idea. So maybe there can be any like vectorization of any landscape, or maybe you can create your entire different world in those what do you call canvas or anything. Okay, that is not like day-to-day use, or that is not maybe the way we see the design in real industry use. Okay, so artist is a different thing and graphic design is a different thing. Okay, so one person can be both. Okay, it's like it takes time to become a graphic designer and to become an artist an illustrator. Okay, so it takes times, but can be. Okay, it can be, so one single person can be, but most of the case we can see there are two different these are the two different role, and we can see two different persons, like one is poorly developed or specifically focused on graphic design, and someone is focused on, let's say, an artist to become an artist. Okay, or let's say we can say illustrator also we can say. Okay, so to like get the idea, so first we need to decide where you want to go. But as a beginner you can explore in both different like two different ways, and you can understand how you find a fit in like in one particular position. First you can explore. First let's build something like business card. Try to build a multiple variation of business card. Okay, so on previous video I talked about the psychology of business card and what are the sizes there and how we can design and what are the ways to play around. And I talked about a little bit about the typography and so many things I talked on that video. If you want to explore regarding the business card, then obviously you can go back. And likewise I talked about the simple creation of a poster design for the social media. So those are the things that I already talked. If you want to like watch it, then you can watch. Okay, I'll go back and watch. So yeah, for the simple let's say a business card, flyer, and a brochure, or maybe hoarding board, standee, any brand guideline, they are quite pretty standard, and there are a fixed what do you call it, a set of rules. So let's say, for example, if you want to create a good YouTube banner, then it has a specific guideline to design or to create something. So you don't have to worry, just you need to play with the typography and place some graphical element. It's done. So in a way, like graphic design or designing any graphic element is much more easier than to become an illustrator or to artistic. Because if you want to become an artist or illustrator, then you have to observe the nature. See, nature or the power of like creation. That is the most powerful, or what do you call, awesome creator or designer. The way nature is created, it's beautiful. The way it's has a color pattern. So, for example, let's say whenever we see the landscapes, I'm not talking about the man-made buildings, huge building. Even the building has their own characteristics or own design pattern, but I'm talking about the pure nature. Whenever you see the alone nature, even if you are in anywhere in city where there is oceans and the river or anything, or where you are maybe in a mountainous area where there is a mountain, maybe Himalayas or anything. Okay, so the way the landscape is created, the way the horizon is there, and the way it's like spread the color, the morning vibes, the evening vibes. Obviously the morning vibes and the evening vibes look same, but still it is different, because in the morning the sunlight is rising, and in the evening the sunrise is sun, it's going to set down. So there has two different a color variation at the mid. Obviously there is a different, so there is a one color, say there is a one color pattern. So we can see, if we able to observe the nature in a illustrative way, in an artistic way, then we can get the reference from that. So as a beginner, now what you have to do is to like observe the nature and try to replicate. Don't try to replicate as a whole landscape. Just try to replicate one simple icons. Let's say, for example, whenever you walk, you see something interesting. It can be anything. For example, let's say you see a leaf, then just pick it up and try to make one illustrative and add your creativity. Try to play. Creativity doesn't mean that it comes like a within a sort of like period, or it like doesn't come often. So it's a kind of what do you call it, power, that it can become, or it just the practice, the way you practice, the more you practice, and you will become a good creative artist. And you need to define your genre, where you want to move into. See, in the world, become a graphic design is much more easier than to become a creative graphic designer. Everyone say I am a creative enough, like, but if you see on the internet, there are the millions of design that is quite similar to your design, and there is one particular guideline. So if you talk about the principles, there is a fixed principle, and if you want to design, then you have to sit under the principle, otherwise your design maybe might not be approved. But if you become an artist, then you can create your own framework, and you can create your own design, and you can explain things in a different way. And each and every design must have their own storytelling. If you able to tell the story with your picture, with your design, then you are creative. So initially, as a beginner designer, what they try to do is, like, if they are a designer or they design something, then they put so many effects, so many, like, I don't know, layers, and try to mix jumble, and sometimes it looks messy. So design is simply a very, very basic things. If we able to create a very simplicity, that looks creative yet simple. For example, let's take an example of Apple websites. Obviously, it's not compared to any other business house, because it's a $1 trillion company. They have a huge team, but the approach they took is simplicity. Obviously, if you see on their design on websites, obviously there is a little bit different, but as you see the graphic design, then they're very basic and simple. You can't see any pattern, or there is no any other things. Simple. Let's say if they have a particular specific guidelines to present their content, present their logo, how to show their logo, they have an entire huge book of guideline that you can see. So try to be a simple. As a beginner also, you have to keep it simple. Do not try to play with lots of effect and anyway. So for example, if we are working for the gaming industry or a gaming let's say gaming channel, then you have to play with something a little bit effects, and you need to give them a dynamic view that looks like a gaming. Or if we are designing something for the movie poster, that should look like a little bit artistic way. But like applying a more effect doesn't mean that you are creating a very good design. So first try to identify where you want to be as a graphic designer or as a artist or illustrator, and then like explore. First you can explore both the things. Okay, try to design flyer, try to design a business card, try to design social media poster. For the social media, each and every social media has their own poster size. For example, the Instagram has 1:1 ratio. Likewise, Facebook has like 9 to 16, I think, I don't know, 3 to 4 or something, that kind of ratio is there. And Facebook cover has 830 by 600, 830 by 600 or something, sorry, 851 by 360. This is the like within height of that Facebook covers, and the profile picture has a different size. So likewise, other social media like YouTube banner has different, YouTube thumbnail like size has a different, and based on that size you can check whether it, how it will be so whenever if you are creating a YouTube channel, there is a safeguard. Under that safeguard you need to play with the text. Otherwise, if you place the text that is outside the safe title sets, then your text cannot be visible and the design won't look good. See, so for the graphic design, it's a little bit easy. Okay, there is a proper guideline, and under the guideline that you can create and you can explore, and you can obviously in the graphic design also, like while playing with the background and trying to adding with your element, that you need to show your creativity. But at the same time, you need to follow some kind of a framework so that the design look balanced. But as an artist, as an illustrator, you don't have to follow anything. You have to follow your intuition and try to replicate, try to create something amazing that you can explain. Okay, for example, like you can see the story there in design. Okay, as a graphic designer also, you need to explain the story, or you need to show the story. For example, where to follow, where to end, where to start, where to end, which line is more like dominant and which line is more permanent. That you need to show the hierarchy, you need to show the balance. Okay, balance between the two different picture and the element. You need to like adjust the white space, at the same time text placing center. So you need to balance with the picture, a huge picture or a small picture. Okay, so it should be like organic, and it should be balanced together. Sometimes you can follow the 80 by 20 rules to make good balanced picture in graphic design. But here as an illustrator, or here as a artistic way, there is no any such what do you call framework. But obviously for the designing, for the creation, there might be some um, a guideline to like use color. There might be a specific way to apply the color or any other way. But as a illustrator, as a artist, that you can play with your creativity. Now let's now again comes like as a creativity, how to start with creativity. Creativity doesn't come as a magical way. It's just your practice, it's just way your observation, how you observe your nature. Okay, so the more you observe your nature in artistic way, you need to observe the artistic way. Let's say, for example, if you see the tree, then observe in artistic way. Like for the illustrator user, let's say, see the tree in a vector way. So how can you give the dynamic way? So if you try to create a tree in illustrator, first it will be a flat. So now it is your creativity, it is your idea, how you can make it a little bit dynamic. There should be a depth of field, how you can create. Obviously, you need to play with your idea, like let's suppose a color pattern, the way you're placing the element, then it gives the vibes. Okay, so that you need to show the storytelling. Okay, for the tree also, there you can experiment with multiple elements. Okay, I'm just taking one simple example like a tree. Okay, so and let's say, for example, you are creating a huge one larger landscape. Then for the landscape, observe the real landscape first, the color depth. If you see the color depth, okay, the more closer it is, a little bit darker. The more you like see the wider, then the wider part, or the backside part is a little bit white shades of color, and there is a multiple layer of the colors that you can see, and the sky has a different color pattern. Okay, So try to observe the patterns, try to observe the scenario, how it organized, and try to play with the horizon. And at the same time, you need to see the perspective. So what kind of practice? Perspective is there, okay? Two-way perspective, four-way perspectives, okay? So one-way perspective. So you need to see the perspective and try to create the story. So if, not only for the landscape, even if you play with, let's say for example, you have a mouse. Let's say simply, I have a one mouse, okay, simple basic mouse. If you want to create a very unique mouse, or you want to put your mouse in a artistic way, then you can start with the creating a simple vector, and then you can add lots of other element. So sorry, to show your creativity. In a simple example, let's say in the movies we can see the fight, okay? When there is a fight, then we can see the sound of what do you call that, punching or touching someone's like some face or body part. And every movie has their own different sound, isn't it? Some might have a boom, or some maybe have a dishing or something, but every fight has a different sound, and every movie has their different sound as well, and then they become a good. Okay, if you copy others design, then obviously you are not a creative enough. But as a while practicing, you can use obviously, and to get the idea, like if you are not able to see the nature in real nature, then you can go with, there are multiple ways. First, Google is very easy and simple. Google image is there, and next is Pinterest. You can search in Pinterest also, and Behance also there to explore your creative idea. And there are so many other websites like pixels also there, so you can get the real picture and then you can try to explore with those. And yeah, these are the things that you can explore basically. Like searching for the creativity or how to find a creativity is like, it's a practice. The more you practice, the more you get the creativity. Next thing, you need to find the like your genre, where you want to go. Graphic design, designing a graphic element, or you want to become an artist or a illustrator. Okay, so for the graphic design, you need to go with the like a social media and the print media design, like a brochure, flyer, or any other related things that is, that comes that are things. And for the artistic way, that you need to take any object, okay, see the nature and try to replicate it in different way. Okay, try to see in a different angle, try to see in a different like perspective. And for example, just simply look at the object that you are seeing very first time, just like a child, and wonder it and try to add multiple elements. Obviously it should be complementary with that particular object or particular subject, but try to add many as color and pattern, then you can be a good creative. Okay, well, that's all for this video. So I hope you get the idea of how to become like, or how to get creative idea in the design element. And we'll talk something more about in the next video. And I think we will continue obviously as illustrator, illustrator, that series of video. It's not complete yet. In middle, that I talked about the how to get the creative, so that you can practice, okay, and you can decide where you want to go and how you want to use your illustrator. So that's all, and see you on the next video. Till then, be creative, be logical, be kind, and love and respect to every humankind, and protect the earth for the future generation. Bye bye. See you on the next video.